Hey everyone, Thyworm here, and in this video I wanted to give my thoughts on gold in SSF in 3.26 and in particular what I believe you should be spending it on. Let's dive in. In 3.26 there will be some changes to gaining gold. Primarily, you will get gold from pretty much all content, also content that previously didn't give gold, such as Sanctum, Heist and Delve. For all intents and purposes, let's say gold is more commonly available because of that reason. However, that's only true if you plan on actually doing a bunch of Heist, Delve or Sanctum in SSF instead of the Atlas, and it's not that common that people do this, right? If you are like I think most people and are just progressing in solo self-found through the campaign and then the Atlas, I don't think you will notice any significant differences. So with that in mind, let's assume for now you will have roughly as much gold available to you in 3.26 as you had in 3.25. With that covered, let's talk about the issue of spending gold. There is one big change in this regard, and that is that you no longer have to build King's March. That is all done for you already. We've spent like 11 months doing this. That saves you a lot of gold. This leaves you with 3 options or 3 gold sinks, 3 ways to spend your gold. The first is by spending it on respecking your passive tree. This is a good investment, and if you're following a build guide, you ideally only do this once. But I feel especially in a league start scenario, gold is extremely valuable, so having to spend most of the gold you get on passive tree respecs is a big downside. My SRS league starter has only a few nodes to respec at around level 70, but some guys out there will drain all of your gold and then some to make the build work and respec, and I think in solo self-found that is something to be very mindful of. It's a bit of a waste, and with the nerf and regret orbs you will spend even more gold on respecking. The second way to spend your gold is on the town King's March by hiring workers, maintaining workers, which is very expensive, and then spending gold on shipments, recombinators and that sort of thing. I don't think you should spend a single gold piece at league start on King's March in solo self-found. I think the gains at league start are simply not worth it in SSF because map runners or shipments may bring back something valuable, but the chances of that thing being valuable to your build are not that high. Let's take an extreme example, even assuming that these guys bring me back a headhunter. And I'm a summoner, that's completely pointless. I don't need a headhunter, I already have a darkness enthroned. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. In trade, you can spend gold on King's March as these valuable pieces can provide tons of currency, but in SSF I think it is very unreliable, and I would only consider spending gold on King's March once my character is well equipped to run high tier maps. I want a more deterministic way to get the gear I can use and that makes my character stronger. And keep in mind, those high tier maps provide significant amounts of gold, which once I can run them, I can spend on King's March. But spending gold on King's March before you can comfortably run tier 16 maps, to me that doesn't make sense. That leaves me with the last option to spend gold on, and that is Faustus gambling. In 3.26, that is no longer always with Faustus, but with random NPCs depending on the act of the campaign. But I think from Act 1 already, you can talk to an NPC in town to spend the gold on gambling, and I think this is where all your gold should go. I expect the mechanic to not change, there wasn't anything in the patch notes about it, so the odds should be the same, and gambling for gear has a few big advantages. First, the gear tends to be at least 4 linked, which is amazing. As you can select the base types, in my case I'm running armor and energy shield based gear, you will often get a 4-linked item with blue and red sockets, which is what I need for Guardian SRS. Second, the gear is often of rare quality, also in early acts, providing significant improvements, especially in gear slots you haven't found upgrades for in a while. It's also great for weapons if you play melee. It's great for jewelry, which is rare in general, or it's just great if you still haven't found your movement speed boots. Third, not only is the gear rare, it also tends to roll with high tier modifiers, and the higher level your character is, the more gold these items cost, but also the better the affixes are on them. All the way throughout red maps, it is a very consistent and reliable way to get part of your upgrades using the gambling mechanic. So spend your gold on that, get decent gear. Use that gear to progress to high tier maps, and once you reach that point and are comfortable mapping in or around tier 16, you should stop gambling because there are definitely diminishing returns. At some point, the odds of getting upgrades from gambling if your gear is already very decent are just not great anymore. I think that is the moment to start hiring workers, as you will also be able to sustain them with tier 16 gold income, send out shipments and get the more niche improvements to your build such as rune grafts. Spend gold on King's March once you have the basics of your build covered, and you will have a much smoother progression in SSF. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this, I thought it might help you out. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Please like and subscribe for more SSF PoE content. I love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.